Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP has already proven that it's going to be a major player in this bull run, even though there's still no shortage of, irrational XRP haters out there. I'm going to share with you some of the latest perspectives on what's likely to occur with XRP, in fact, from 9 different chart analysts in this video, including when XRP is likely to finally hit a new all-time high, and when this market cycle might finally end. Spoiler alert, though, it's a virtual certainty we're not going to have to wait that much longer. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so XRP, as I record this, $1.10, not too shabby to start. But how long are we going to be here? When's this thing finally really going to fly to new all-time highs? How long is this going to take? Well, truth of the matter is, we've never been closer to that than at this exact moment in history. So let's get going here. Here's a post from chart analyst Javon Marks, XRP USD chart on your screen here. And he said the following. They said XRP's bullish breakout was unlikely and highly unlikely. We said it was extremely likely, and that bullish breakout, spoken of, it happened and is holding. Another 3x and a near plus 200% move from here to $3.31 and higher can be coming imminently and quickly. And folks, XRP, although one of the most loved coins in all of crypto, it also has the highest number, probably, of haters against it. That could not be more up. So there are probably, I don't know how many of us are actually in the XRP community, or even if you just want to say how many people have ever bought XRP. It's impossible to know the exact numbers for reasons I've talked about recently. But it could be in the millions, potentially. I mean, it's plausible. But so even though we're a huge community, tons of people holding XRP, there's a reason why it's, for its entire existence, been in the top 10 coins by market cap. My God. Because of the bogus narratives first put forth by toxic Bitcoin maximalists over a decade ago, it just got this stigma, which is not deserved. It's the banker's coin. That used to be a bad thing. Now Bitcoin's the banker's coin. What? I remember when I jumped into XRP and crypto in 2017, people, they'd say two things that were completely at odds with one another. They'd say, in a very pejorative way, they'd say, XRP is the banker's coin. It's like the antithesis of what crypto is supposed to be. But then in the next breath, you'd catch them saying, XRP will never be used by banks. I'm like, which is it? Which one of it? So it's the banker's coin, or it's never going to be used by anybody. Which one is it? That's the type of non sequitur that you can absolutely expect from the types of people that would spout stuff like it doesn't make sense. There is no logic there. It's just what they feel. So he's saying, though, again, and I keep seeing this from all sorts of analysts, not going to have to wait too long. Again, big move imminently. Okay, maybe. I could certainly buy that, given that we're in the midst of a bull run here. And we had just yet another Bitcoin all-time high today, which, Bitcoin leads the pack, and I'm fine with that. I don't mind that. Here's what chart analyst Bobby A had to say. Altseason has not even commenced yet. These initial fireworks show that XRP will be an outperformer throughout this market cycle and alt season. However, most are stuck on their biased views. Love to see it. Yeah, that I firmly believe. I've been experiencing this for 7 freaking years now. And I follow this stuff almost every single day. There's been rare exceptions, but almost every single day of my life for the last 7 years, I've been tracking this, including on social media, all the news headlines, talking about it on my YouTube channel, because it is my most favorite hobby that I've ever had here. And I'm telling you, my God, the amount of hatred, it's completely irrational. I call it XRP derangement syndrome. That's what they have. It's XRP derangement syndrome. They don't like it because reasons. Because reasons, folks. I know, very compelling, right? But he's right here. The fact that XRP ran as quickly as it did, that is classic XRP price movement. It's dead, it's not doing anything, and then it gets ripped to shred by all these irrational haters, but then when it does wake up, oh my God, it moves fast. That is classic XRP price behavior. It's still got it. People are still treating it the same. So when this thing goes, it'll go. And so he's right. And I've believed this. I've had strong conviction the entire time I've been holding XRP, and it's only gotten stronger, in fact. And maybe I'm preaching to the choir here, and you feel something the same or similar thing. You ain't crazy, folks. There's a ton of us that are like, no, all the rest of you are out your goddamn mind if you're going to say that XRP doesn't make sense. There was this post from chart analyst Nick, Crypto Crusader, same sentiment here, and I think it's completely worth highlighting this, and I'm glad that he said, like, we should be acknowledging that there's a lot of irrational people in this space. So he says, the most hated rally for XRP has started, and it seems there is still a very large amount of delusional haters on the sidelines. Best part about all of this is that Bitcoin dominance is still over 50% plus, which means we have a lot more upside left in the tank for altcoins. Now, my friends, I was literally making that same point just yesterday. Bitcoin has not really begun to break down in terms of dominance, but XRP pumped this much. That means that, like, where'd the money come from then? So it's either new money and or profits from other coins, and maybe not even profits, could be losses, but value taken from other coins sold and then plugged into XRP. So a lot of people get it, obviously. But, when Bitcoin does start finally, there are more people taking profit, wait for that to roll into XRP. That's when the real face melt happens. Just wait for that. And historically, that absolutely has happened. But still, and I love highlighting this. This is one of my favorite things. I've been looking forward to making this video, actually. So let me just cover a couple of these, and then we're going to get into like the timing for XRP and like when it's going to potentially hit a new all-time high, and when the market's going to peak. Because very fascinating topic. I'm just as curious as the rest of you. And nobody can know for sure, but it's worth drawing upon previous historic precedent to come to reasonable conclusions about what be most probable anyway. But there's a story here today from the Crypto Basic. Titled, Strong XRP Critic Predicts Explosive XRP Push Once 2021 High of $1.96 Clears. Now, I actually covered the content that they're discussing in this article. I covered it literally yesterday, and then today, they happen to have an article about it. And not that that's because of me. I'm glad they're covering it, though. But I wanted to just highlight it briefly, because it is the case they're talking about Peter Brandt with his 751,000 followers on X. He had an XRP USD chart here. And he still hates XRP, and he's entitled to be wrong. That's fine. But he's called it a scam coin, this or that. It's going to zero, blah, blah, blah. Of course, he's been saying it's going to zero for how many years now? And then it just keeps living. It keeps persisting, staying in the top 10 coins by market cap. But even he is acknowledging, I keep seeing this from so many of the people that over the last several years have been just hating on XRP. One after one, and then the next, and then the next. Here we are. It started breaking out, and now they want to save face. They're like, oh, well, okay, maybe it could move to the upside. They still hate it irrationally, but now they're being more intellectually honest. Like, oh, well, it could blast to the upside. I still hate you crapcoin now. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. You're not helping your credibility with this. And so here's the post from yesterday. It said, ready to rip XRP USD. Massive coil. 2023 high now cleared. If 2021 high is cleared, and then he's got like 5 rocket emojis. So he's saying if we break that, not a whole lot of resistance above. And he is a well-respected analyst. He's just irrationally wrong about XRP. He just has feelings about it, and then the feelings seep into his bias, and then he says a bunch of wrong stuff to his 751,000 freaking followers. This is why we cannot have nice things, folks. Then there's this guy. You ever heard of Lark Davis? Nothing personal against this guy either. It's funny, and if you think that you're not going to, if you're going to crap all over XRP irrationally for several years, and then flip your bias at the last minute right when XRP happens to be rocketing, do you think that it's not going to be noticed? Am I just supposed to not say anything? Screw that. This is hilarious. Here's his video from a few years ago. It's called, Don't Buy XRP, Here's Why. And you want to know why that's funny? Because here's an article covering his latest perspective. And in his latest take on XRP is it could hit new all-time highs. In fact, he's calling a target here, at least to get started, at $6 to $7. I'm sorry. So a few years ago, don't buy XRP. He's got a whole YouTube video about it. Oh, by the way, new all-time highs, melting face is $6 to $7. Okay, Lark, thanks. And again, folks, when is this coming? It's at the most hilarious time that it could possibly come. These people, just to save face. What else could it be? Did they truly see the light just as XRP starts to move? Like, come on, give me a frickin' break here. It is hilarious, though. Here's a post from Dark Defender. People did not believe XRP could break 33 cents, but he did by touching $1.99. People did not believe XRP could break 66 cents this time, but he did by touching $1.26. Some people are still in doubt and do not believe XRP to break all-time high, but he will with an outstanding pace. Okay, that I totally agree with. And I'll say it again, I've said it a million times for a good reason, because I want to be intellectually honest, I always will be. I don't know for sure, but my strong conviction is that, yes, XRP, very strong conviction, XRP does hit a new all-time high, melt faces, price discovery, the whole 9 yards. And I'm just as curious as the rest of you as to when that might be and how high it goes. I'll not be surprised if there's double-digit XRP price. So at least $10. That won't surprise me. And it won't surprise me if it's much sooner than later, although I'm going to circle back to that and just give me another minute here. There's also this from Chart Analyst Dark Defender. This is an XRP ETH chart. You'd love to see it. Look at this. 7 years of ETH dominance on XRP is over. That's right, it broke out. And we have just started yet. XRP has already flipped at ETH. I'm like hard getting words out or something. XRP has already flipped ETH and completed the retest. Congrats, XRP Army. Now it is our time. Look at that glorious green candle right there. It was inevitable. It's been coiled up for too long. You know, the longer the base, the higher in space, that dorky phrase. Yeah, it's a real thing, though. The longer an asset consolidates, the greater the force with which it breaks when it finally does break. Whether that's to the upside or the downside, it can vary. In this case, we're in a bull run. And XRP is here to stay very clearly, and it's functionally useful, including in enterprise-grade software literally every single day. But that's the coin that the irrational Bitcoin maximalists say, oh, no, that one, no, it's gone to zero, scam coin, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. So what do you know that all the businesses using it on an enterprise scale, like they don't know that, but you know something. Oh, okay, but then the thing is never cited. They just don't like it. It's irrational. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Cryptos talk about some short-term price action from a historic perspective. Now, this is fascinating. Because, look, it's just recently that XRP started pumping, going from 49 cents to a $1.26. Check this out. So last night he posted the following. Looking at XRP's past performance, it usually consolidates for only 1 to 7 days. You can see the red rockets for those who look at the screen anyway. That's what indicates it. So what does this mean? XRP monster moves usually go up in a straight line with almost no consolidation. Usually, when XRP goes sideways, a breakdown is likely coming. So think about that. It's not a guarantee, of course, nothing ever is, but it's worth looking at what has happened in the past, since history kind of rhymes with itself. Humans, we're biological robots. We therefore keep doing very similar things. If you take us, as a species, like on the whole, we keep doing roughly the same things over and over again. Of course, in an individual level, you can change and do whatever, but I'm just saying on the whole, it's just true. That's the reason history rhymes with itself. We're biological robots here. And so if history is to kind of rhyme with itself, what he's noting here, just based on actual data, is that we don't consolidate very long. So we do see more exciting moves potentially to the upside sooner than later. We're going to find out together. But there's historic precedent for that. Here's a post from Chart Analyst The Great Matsby, clearly agrees. He says, XRP is building lots of energy for its next explosive move. We'll see what happens here. But I don't think we're going to have to wait that long. There's a reason tons of analysts are saying these things. Then there's this from Chart Analyst Crypto Insight UK. And this is an XRP ETH chart again on your screen here. And he says, XRP looks like it's knocking on the door of another leg. XRP ETH on the 1 hour. He has a few charts here. Yeah, that is one I had pulled up. And then here's XRP ETH on the 1 week. And just pause if you want to look at these longer. But then he's also got XRP BTC. That's on the 1 hour. And then here's XRP BTC on the 1 week. So this is what's so cool. Look at look at the trend line. Look at where we're at. So you remember, right, what happened when XRP broke out of that 7-year symmetrical triangle, just whatever it was, a week and a half ago, whatever the hell it was at this point. And it broke out because it was at 49 cents. It ended up breaking out. You remember once it got above that trend line, what happened? It was an explosive move up to a $1.26 just to get the party started. Now, if you look at XRP priced against Bitcoin, right up against that, when that happens, now that is going to be explosive. If history is to rhyme with itself, anyway. There's also this post from Crypto Insight UK. This is a more recent one from this morning. He said, XRP update, bottom of the wedge was lost. And this is an XRP USD chart. Bottom of the wedge was lost, but with no real volume or conviction. This is just indecision continuing in my eyes. Watching Bitcoin for the next major decision, breakout to $100,000 plus. This is what I think will happen, or pullback. XRP and others also waiting. Yeah, well stated. So the fact that it's outside of that, it's a very short time frame, doesn't necessarily mean anything, and we're just waiting for Bitcoin. Bitcoin leads the way. Let's just see what happens. I think it's a virtual certainty at some point. Bitcoin's going to just break way, way, way higher. And I don't care as much about. I mean, I'm excited to sell my Bitcoin finally because I've been holding it for 7 years, and I have every intention of selling probably all of it, or at least maybe like, I don't know, 75, 80% of it. Set that aside. Looking forward to that, but I'm more excited about what happens with Bitcoin because I understand what it's going to mean for XRP and every other altcoin that I hold when people sell their Bitcoin and then they rotate it into stuff that hasn't popped yet, like XRP. Or, well, I mean, it's popped, but you know what I mean, like where there's more opportunity for substantial gains. Then there was this post from Steph is Crypto chart analyst. He said, if XRP cycles repeat, November 2025 could mark the top of the bull run. Okay, this is an interesting topic. Like, I understand that last market cycle, Bitcoin had its technical peak in November of 2021, but you'll find that a lot of chart analysts argue, actually, you know, the peak for Bitcoin is actually either April or May of 2021, not November of 2021, even though the technical all-time high for Bitcoin, yes, it was in November. And why is that? Well, I'd seen some reasons spouted before, including, well, you know, there really wasn't any volume there. It was just kind of a deviation. And so I'm always kind of curious about the topic because since history rhymes with itself, it's kind of sitting here wondering, does it mean that, you know, we're going to see the peak for XRP like in a matter of months? Or would we actually have to wait potentially like a whole year? I mean, I guess you'd say technically either is possible. You'll see why in a second, but I'll hazard a guess here just for fun. It's probably going to be for XRP closer to what we saw last cycle because what happened with Bitcoin, I mean, stating that it was just a deviation, yeah, that's probably actually just the case. I find the arguments compelling, and I'll show you why in a second here. If that's the case, and this would be my for fun guess, won't be surprised if we get close to or actually above a double-digit price action for XRP, and I'll not be surprised if it happens, say, into first quarter or maybe the beginning of the second quarters, you know, at least the first half of the year. I would not be surprised if that's when we see XRP peak along with the rest of the market, which means we really don't have that much more time. And again, this is just, even if you're not a chart analyst, and I'm not, and I don't want to be because that bores me to tears, even just looking at historic precedent, because again, history, I'll say it again, history kind of rhymes with itself, that would make sense. It was April of 2021 when XRP hit its cycle high, last cycle. So we're coming up on 4 years. We're not far away. And it's a lot of fun in the meantime. And it doesn't mean it couldn't be a little sooner or a little bit later. So I still am kind of like on the edge of my seat wondering, when is it going to go? I'm here for it, folks. I've been waiting 7 years. But here's a post from chart analyst Dr. Magic. He shared this chart, XRP USD chart, with some other data on it. And he wrote, for those of you that still wonder how we can top in Q1, so he's talking about first quarter 2025, of course, middle March for Bitcoin and end of April / start of May for altcoins, it literally happened last cycle. Note also that November was the month that kick-started the party, and same thing happening right now. Yeah, and so I'll just pause to note, I remember that. XRP absolutely had its first notable move 4 years ago. I've been talking about this for months leading up to this. XRP had its first major burst beginning of November 2020. Here we are 4 years later, first major burst, 2020. Color me surprised. I'm not. I am not surprised, just for the record. Anyway, then he says, or you can be with the brainwashed crowd thinking that the top last cycle was November 2021. Okay, interesting. Now, let me go. Yeah, here we go back. So somebody named No Nonsense wrote to him and said, the Bitcoin was April 2021 because the alts had their blow off top after that. And so he seems to agree there. And then Dr. Magic responded and said, not only for that, for other reasons too. And so it is true. It wasn't literally every single altcoin. But yeah, if you're talking about when there was the most volume and altcoins popping off, that was the time period. It all happened right then, as one would expect based on how cycles go every several years. But I was curious. I just wanted to hear if he had additional thoughts on this. So I wrote to him and I said, What are the other reasons Bitcoin pumped to a new high in November 2021, but it doesn't count as the cycle top? I've heard it described as a deviation, but curious about your perspective on this. And if memory serves, volume in crypto around that time wasn't really explosive. Mind you, I'm not a chart analyst. And he did take some time to respond, which I appreciate. And he's got tons of reasons. And so, yes, we can acknowledge that Bitcoin had that all-time high in November and it was a deviation. But what actually matters? Just because that happened, does that mean that we should expect that to be where we see the peak? Well, if you look at every other metric, no. So people like to look at price and say that's the one. But what about everything else that happened? What if there are way more metrics that indicate actually the peak, if you look at the rest of the metrics, it actually was in April and May of 2021? Or do you just want to focus on that one metric, just the one, just because it's one that we care about a lot, because it's price? You want to just focus on the one thing or all the others? And so here's what he wrote. Well, the list of the other reasons is endless, I think. And then he cites a bunch. Check this out. Funding never overheated again after March. Price action was corrective and not impulsive. Every on-chain indicator suggests the same. MVRB, whales balance. Then there's holder behavior. Pretty much everything. Most altcoins didn't make a new all-time high. We never had an alt season in November. Volume was peanuts. Relative strength index, LMACD, etc. I mean, I can go on forever. And for people saying we made a new all-time high, yeah, we made a marginal new all-time high. And if you had flipped bearish in March and started shorting the dead cat bounce around $50,000, you would have been wrong for 2 to 3 months and 20%, while you would have been right immensely after. Yeah, so all of these points are not lost on me, and this is in line with the type of message that the blockchain backer has been talking about. He's like, no, the real peak, it actually was like April or May, one of those. Well, it depends on what you're talking about, Bitcoin or altcoins. You can make an argument, but either way, it wasn't November is the point. It wasn't November 2021. Except for that, by that one metric. But other than that, not really. Not really. So, okay, so then what does that mean? Well, since history rhymes with itself, shouldn't we anticipate that if history rhymes again, that XRP and pretty much everything else under the sun is going to be topping in the first half of 2025? Maybe even in the first quarter? Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. So I don't know, you don't know, he doesn't know, nobody knows for sure, but I'll tell you what I think is probable. History rhymes. There's a reason that I'm anticipating double-digit price action and much sooner than later. And if we're fortunate, we're going to get it. Either way, I don't think we're going to be disappointed. Even if something's a little bit different than what we might think is most plausible, fine. We're still going to get something completely awesome sauce as far as I'm concerned. So you guys can let me know what you think. I'll wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.